I know for a fact documents are being suppressed. And they're being suppressed to protect individuals. I know the names of the individuals. I know why they're being suppressed. I know who's suppressing them. But I'm bound by confidentiality from a judge and cases, and I can't disclose what I know. But I hand to God, I know the names of people whose files are being suppressed in order to protect them. And that's wrong.
So here we are. The Epstein files saga continues, this time with former Epstein defense lawyer Alan Dershowitz. On Sean Spicer's show there back in March, Dershowitz emphatically claimed that he knew all of the clients on the so-called Epstein list. The clip resurfaced yesterday amid left and right-wing backlash to the Trump administration's denials that Epstein was blackmailing other clients. Dershowitz's insistence that there were other clients and co-conspirators was backed up by Sigrid McCauley, the lawyer representing several Epstein victims in their civil cases. Listen.
I think what's really just astonishing about this recent disclosure from the government is that they know they are sitting on a treasure trove of information and they're not turning it over. And I've worked on these cases for over 10 years now. There's a plethora of information that the public has not been able to see relating to Epstein and his co-conspirators. And as we know, he had a group of people around him who helped protect him and help that scheme to continue running. None of those people have been prosecuted.
All right, folks, and it's getting even sketchier, if you will. We're learning more that the 11 hours of prison footage that the Trump administration released from the night Epstein died may have been altered. Let's talk more about it. With metadata embedded in the video, analyzed by Wired and independent video forensics experts, shows that rather than being a direct export from the prison surveillance system, the footage was modified, likely using the professional editing tool Adobe Premiere Pro. The file appears to have been assembled from at least 2 source clips, saved multiple times, exported, and then uploaded to the DOJ's website, where it was presented as, quote, raw footage. Experts caution that it's unclear what exactly was changed and that the metadata does not prove deceptive manipulation. Video may have simply been processed for public release using available software with no modifications beyond stitching together 2 clips. But again, it adds to the mystery here with no clear explanation from the Justice Department. We simply can't say for sure what exactly went down that night. Hani Farid, a professor at UC Berkeley, whose research focuses on digital forensics and misinformation, says this about the footage. If a lawyer brought me this file and asked if it was suitable for court, I'd say no. Go back to the source. Do it right. Do a direct export from the original system. No monkey business. DOJ, FBI, both refusing to answer questions about this. So, Cenk, look, we've already established that MAGA loyalists are not going to let this go. What more, though, does these revelations today tell us?
So we kid around about Captain Underpants because there's a story of how he got a massage at Epstein's place, but he says he kept his shorts on. So we had a good laugh over that, and he says, "No, it's okay. My wife was there," and I was like, "Wow." Okay, but because we're the fairest show in America, as I watched that interview with Sean Spicer, I thought, I mean, he's getting me to question if he's really did do anything wrong and why, because he's saying the same thing Steve Bannon is saying, and 2 guys, I can't stand Alan Dershowitz or Steve Bannon, but they're both saying, why don't you release the whole files? Because we didn't do anything wrong. Now people are accusing us. Dershowitz has been accused for a long time, and Bannon just got accused by Elon Musk. So they're like, no, that's it. Just release the goddamn files, because now we're all getting smeared. And Steve Bannon's even calling for a special prosecutor. So, okay. So did Dershowitz do it? I have no idea. How would I know? The government's keeping it a secret, right? So, but I agree with him in this case. Yeah, release the files, then we'll know. So now to the tape. I mean, first of all, they released the tape, and it's a freaking joke. So as I've said many times, on the day that Epstein died, Anna and I were on the air. It was breaking news. And I said, if the camera in the hallway isn't working, they killed him, okay? If the camera in the hallway is working, then it was suicide, then I believed it, right? And then we found out later, oh, golly gee, the camera in the hallway wasn't working. We cannot see his prison cell. I was like, yeah, all right. Color me shocked, right? So now they say, okay, that's all right. We got it. We got the tape. I'm like, really, you did? So the camera was working? No, we got a tape of the common area. What does that prove? That doesn't prove anything. Oh, by the way, there's a minute missing. And then Bonnie's like, no, every prison tape has a minute missing. Does it? Okay, so then Wired Magazine with a great reporting today where they're like, yeah, it was edited. There's two clear different parts of it, edited together. We don't know what was, if anything was manipulated further, but we do know like there was different issues with the tape. They had different resolution, this, that, and other. And this is really important. The government put out two tapes. One that was like, hey, you can see it more clearly here, and the one they called the raw footage. And Wired Magazine proved it was not raw footage, it was edited. So the tape was junk, and to begin with, it's not showing you the hallway, it's showing you a random place in the prison, or almost random. Then we know that there was a piece of it missing, and now we know it was edited. So, gee, I wonder if the government is trying to cover it up. I can't quite tell when the government says hundreds, maybe even thousands of underage girls were raped, but no one raped them. We can't find a single client, and we're not going to prosecute anyone. Okay, that's the wildest conspiracy theory I have ever heard. And the fact that it's coming from the government doesn't make it any better. Elliot, what do you think?
To be honest with you, Cenk, I appreciate Dershowitz doing what I think you need to do when it comes to a conspiracy theory, which is leave some kind of question mark, something open for people to wonder about. Him saying, hey, I know about all this, but I can't talk about it because of confidentiality seems like a really smart move. What's not a smart move is to go, hey, look over there, and hey, don't even ask us any more questions about this, and don't worry about the tape, and don't worry about the list. I think that's going to continue to be a bigger and bigger backlash for him.
Yeah, and Elliot, just real quick on that before I toss back to Sharon. Benny Johnson has a story about Dershowitz and Epstein. We'll get to that in a sec. And it could be that Dershowitz thinks, yeah, I know who did it. And I know that since it's people that are never ever going to release the list because they're in the government, I can say anything I want about the list because I know it's never going to come out. So that's also possible, but we don't know. Sharon.
The whole thing just keeps getting, as we said, sketchier and sketchier. One of Trump's buddies now is making excuses about it. Bill O'Reilly is divulging a conversation he allegedly had with Donald Trump back in March.
He said, and I agree, there are a lot of names associated with Epstein that had nothing to do with Epstein's conduct. They maybe had lunch with him or maybe had some correspondence for one thing or another. If that name gets out, those people are destroyed. Because there's not going to be any context. Media doesn't care about context. So you can't do that. You can't destroy human beings by putting out the files, whatever they may be.
Okay, so Bill O'Reilly there making it seem like, the barista from Starbucks is also on the list who Epstein perhaps visited daily. I mean, this is a guy who loved to party. Are we buying this excuse that you don't want to this is politics. We don't want to muddy up everyday people who just, had coffee or lunch with this guy?
Yeah, it's just patently absurd. Okay, so all right, you're saying, well, if you just throw out a list, you vomit out a list, some of the people might not have done it. And you're, okay, yeah, that's a fair point. So why don't you put out a list of the people who did do it? You have them on tape. It's not like you don't know who did it. So, okay, why don't you be super careful? Start with a list of 5 or 10. Remember, there's hundreds, right? We're not asking you to be wild-eyed, right? So it's just nothing but excuses, total and utter BS. So look, guys, the theory most likely, to me is there's one force on earth that can get both the Democrats and the Republicans to cover up a story of this magnitude, and that's an intelligence agency, CIA or one of our allies, Mossad, MI6, those are the other two that have been mentioned. And we're either working with them or we're covering up for them, or it's just us and not them, right? That makes sense. And here's why, another reason why it makes sense. If you're going to start prosecuting people, one person, 5 people, whatever it might be, and the CIA did do it or Mossad did do it, then you have to say to people, yes, our government is so evil that not only did we cover up the child rape, we orchestrated the child rape in order to be able to have blackmail material on powerful people. And nobody wants to admit that their government is that evil. And that's the realm we're in now. And that's why this thing is a powder keg. Because I don't think the American people on the right or the left are gonna say, you know what, we're good with it. So maybe every once in a while, a government we don't know, rapes our kids and then or orchestrates a situation where rich and powerful men rape our kids and then get away with it. I don't think that anyone is going to stand for that at all. And the thing that I promised, Benny Johnson had a segment with Marjorie Taylor Greene where he claims, it's not me, but he says that he had an interview with Dershowitz earlier where Dershowitz said that he would take Epstein to meet members of parliament in Israel. Things that make you go, And so maybe Dershowitz knows, okay, it's not that, and that's why I'm saying release the files. It's actually maybe the CIA or just powerful people, and it's not Mossad, et cetera. Or, right, and again, there's no way for us to know. Or Dershowitz thinks, yeah, I know exactly what happened, and there's no way the American government is going to throw Israel under the bus. They're going to cover up for Israel from now till the cows come home. So I can say anything I want. Oh yeah, I'm definitely not on the list. Oh yeah, sure, release it. Yeah, oh yeah, I kept my shorts on. Sure, right? But the very fact that he said, I know that it exists, there definitely were clients and they are covering it up. Well, thank you, Alan. So I don't know what you meant by it, but now we all know, like as if we didn't already know, we know 100%. Yeah, of course there were clients. Of course the girls didn't rape themselves. Of course it's on tape. And of course the government is covering it up.
I mean, I just want to take a moment and shout out this administration for finally draining the swamp because, rather than draining the swamp, they're just saying, oh, sorry, we can't release this list because we're the swamp. And there's a swamp back there, and we got to protect the swamp. And I feel like that's just one more level where they're not fulfilling the promises that they ran on.
Yeah, I'm gonna add one last thing to that. Because look, when you ask Democrats, or at least the left that I know, right? Hey, is it weird that both Biden and Trump didn't release a list? I think the overwhelming majority go, yeah, that's super weird, right? Before when you ask the right, hey, isn't it weird that Trump didn't release the list on his first term and he was great friends with Epstein? What you would have heard back is, and I know because I did hear it back, it's just no, trust the plan. 8-dimensional chess, when he gets into office the second time, boom, he's gonna release the list and now we're gonna show the deep state and the Clinton and the Democrats and the Bill Gates, all those, all right. Now when you ask MAGA, well, what do you think happened? They're like, yeah, no, they both didn't release it, we're all screwed. We got lied to, and so now the country's united. The government, whether it's Republican or Democrat, will not prosecute any of these powerful people who raped those underage girls. And now there's a very legitimate chance it's because the government was involved in that. And that is a pretty devastating thing to find out about your government. That's why this story is not going away. It's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, that's what I was going to ask both of you. Is there any diversion that can be created to kind of force people to look away, go in another direction? We've got the assistant FBI director who's in some kind of verbal argument, late breaking with Pam Bondi over this, and people threatening to quit. And it just seems to be growing. Whoever's on the list, it's probably huge, but it's even bigger because people keep speaking to it, not letting it go, and our imaginations are running wild.
Yeah, I really don't know. I think that when you look at what's happening right now and the amount of people that are potentially on the list, my first thought when this all started happening was, oh, this must be the distraction. Like this must be something, because this administration is throwing everything at the wall to try to say like, hey, look over there. And at first I thought this was just another one of those things, but them just flat out saying no and stop asking questions about it seems to me so counterintuitive for what they normally do. Like normally they're way smarter than this, and at least that way. And so now I'm going, oh, is this like, how big does this story get and how big will it get? And it seems by the hour to be getting bigger. So we'll see. I don't know. I think it's like, it's TBD.
Yeah, I think this is the iceberg. And so like, It's just funny you asked that, Sharon, because during the break, we were discussing here on the set, like the same exact question, and John Iadarola was saying, like, Greenland? Is he going to try to invade Greenland to distract? And we were talking about, hey, is he going to, go, oh yeah, we didn't finish off all the uranium, and the Israelis, all right, let's bomb Iran again. But bombing Iran would only be counterproductive. It'd make his base even angrier, right? So I don't think that that'll help. Like, I don't think anybody's going to get distracted by Greenland at this point. So, nah, I don't think so. I don't know what happens.
Why can't it be leaked?
Yeah.
Leak it,
Yeah, I feel like also the one factor here is that this involves Trump personally, and it makes him look bad. And I think that might be a shocker, a driving motivator.
Yeah, of course. That's a huge factor in this. And so I can't see how they would distract. But on the other hand, are we going to talk about this for the next 3.5 years until Trump leaves office? I don't know. And Trump does so many maniacal things, right? But I think this is the mother lode. I think they hit the epicenter here in terms of we're all done with government lies on this. So I don't know what they're going to. I don't know what the government's going to do. I also don't know what mainstream media is going to do. Are they just going to be like, okay, yeah, we're moving on. All of you guys are conspiracy theorists, or are they going to, stay on the story? And that's TBD as well. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets its wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets its wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.